Welcome to selfdiscoveryradio.com, where the orchard of wisdom is just ready for picking. We celebrate your why, the journey that you've taken that inspires someone else. We support your services, we support your story. Come and be our guest, become a host, be an author with us. Come and see what we've got. Our next show is... Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of Choose Positive Living here on selfdiscoverymedia.com. I'm your host, Sarah Troy, and I've got a treat for you here today. I have a bunch of beautiful women who have, well, you know that ever-ready bunny that's constantly energizing? These are the energizers. They, in their presence, they will lift your vibration up, they'll have you smiling, they'll have your feet tap dancing, and they'll have you connecting to your life with enthusiasm. And they've decided to get together and go on a tour. It's Self-Love Explosion Tour, where power and passion meet. The title itself tells you what's going to be happening. But I'm going to introduce each one of them now, and they're just going to say hello so you can identify who they are. My wonderful host of many years here on Self-Discovery Media in her own show, The Wellness Journey, is Lynnis Woods-Mullins. Say hi, Lynnis.
Oh, okay. Hello, everyone.
We have C. Rene Washington. Say hi, Rene. Oh, have we lost Rene?
Oh, you can't hear me?
No, I can't hear you, sweetheart. Let everybody know who you are. Okay. Say hi. Okay, we're going to need your volume up on that. And we have Keisha Dixon.
Hello, everyone.
And we have Dr. Dravon James.
Hello, everybody.
Now, this is going to be, quite a little orchestra that we're going to have here today, because we're obviously got a number of women here with so much to say. And we are going to talk about the tour that they've put together and what it means to you, the people that are going to be coming and listening to this tour, zapping in some of that wonderful energy they have, going away with their wonderful wisdom and knowledge. But let's find out a little bit about them individually, so you know where they're coming from. And then we'll find out why they decided to put this tour together. So I am going to start off with my wonderful host here from her wellness journey here on Self-Discovery Media. Lynnis, would you like to tell everybody a little bit about yourself?
First of all, Sarah, thank you so much for being willing to host us and being willing to talk with us about something we're very passionate about, which is helping women in midlife really realize their dreams through being more focused, having clarity, motivation, enthusiasm, and being well with their mind, body, and spirit, so they can pursue those things, because we really do believe that midlife is really the best time of your life. And for me, as you know, I have the Wellness Journey podcast series. I am a certified holistic wellness and living expert, specializing in working with women over 40. I publish a magazine, Wellness Woman 40 and Beyond e-magazine. I also have online classes, as well as just coming out with a new book, which is called Power Up Superwoman, which will be released in about 2 more weeks. I also am the creator of Living Well Woman, which brought us all together to decide to go on tour of the Self-Love Explosion Tour. And I am the creator of Distress the Mess, which is a holistic stress reduction program, and co-creator of Transformational Wellness, Total Transformation, which has to do with wellness of the mind, body, and spirit, specializing in helping women to release their weight while using holistic practices, spiritual renewal, fitness, nutrition, and behavior modification. So that's me in a nutshell.
And she does sleep, God knows when. I'm exhausted listening to all of that. So let's go to Keisha. Please tell us, are you one of these people that have got this huge amount of repertoire like Lynnis?
Maybe not as much as Lynnis, but it's pretty big. I'm Keisha Dixon, the tapping queen. I'm a transformational wealth coach and an EFT practitioner. I'm the creator of the Monetize Your Mind Success System and the Visibility Vixen Success System. I'm also co-creator of Total Wellness Transformation with the lovely Lynnis. And I am co-host of Living Well Woman, Holistic Living for Sisters Over 40. So I'm really excited to be here.
And your show, Keisha.
And yes, and I'm also a radio show host for, the name of the show is What About Me? And we shine the light of consciousness on those dark things that keep us stuck.
Yes, get rid of those dark things so we can move forward. Absolutely. Dr. Dravon, what about you?
Turn your mic on, honey.
Mike, please, love. Okay.
I apologize. I did not know that I was on mute. Thank you guys for bearing with my technical stuff. But yes, so I'm Dr. Dravon James. I am the creator of Everyday Peace with Dr. Dravon James, where we have one mission. That is to teach, model, and show people how to use everything that shows up in their life, the good, the bad, and the in-between, as a stepping stone to creating the life of their dreams. So in addition to creating Everyday Peace with Dr. Dravon James, I host a weekly radio show on the Unity Online Radio Network, and I am an author, keynote speaker, and workshop speaker.
Another lazy woman, my goodness. And we have Rene Washington. We can't hear you, sweetheart. We need your volume. And nope, you're muted. You know, it doesn't matter how powerful these women are. We still run into tech problems. There you go. You're back. Wonderful.
Yes. Okay. So I guess I'm the slacker in the group. I am
Can you speak up a wee bit, love, or turn your volume up a wee bit?
It's up to the max. Okay. The gremlins are messing with me.
Get rid of
Yeah, the gremlins are messing with me.
That's okay. Just project. We're your audience today.
Yeah. Okay, so yes, I'm yelling actually, but I am a master certified life coach, and I am the mindset maven and creator of the Midlife Manifest Sister Mind, a small group program that helps women in this second half, this phase we call midlife, whether you're 60, 70, 80, 50, whatever, to just unleash the power. All the years that you've been focusing on everybody else other than yourself, that this is your time. I believe women are sitting on so much untapped power and dreams that if they have had parked in a drawer somewhere. And so this is your time to figure out who you really are, what you want, and how you can live that life that you may not have even thought was possible.
You know, never actually, I don't think there has been a time in history where we've looked at women at 40 plus and seen such empowerment and seen so many women step up, doing multiple things, but it's tapping into who they really are and really sharing that abundance out with the world. It used to be, you know, a woman was just taking care of the kids, just taking care of everyone else. And now we're seeing women who, yes, can have it all. They've had the families, and now it's my turn to step into who I am, to find another purpose, to do something that is meaningful to me and that speaks to my very soul and my very heart. And this is an exciting time for women to actually say, okay, who am I? What else have I got in there? Where can I go? What can I do? And if we take off the brackets, the limitation brackets, and we release them and we're willing to go into some self-discovery, it is pretty awesome what we discover about ourselves. Now, I assume that this is kind of what the tour is all about. It's going out there and switching that button off, unclamping, buttons on, unclamping people from their restrictions and their limitations, and igniting that flame within them of just how wonderful they really are and how to step into it. So how did this come about? Lynnis, I'm going to go to you. How did the four ladies say, we're going to do 52 states, 52 weeks, and share this passion?
Well, it kind of started with a walk that I took a few months ago. I was on one of my regular walks, and I was just kind of, talking to God about my business and what I wanted to do, or basically what it is that he wants me to do, because normally that's how things were driven. The things that he wants me to do are the ones that come out being successful. Mm-hmm. The things that I think I need to do aren't. So anyway, I was thinking, okay, there's something that I'm supposed to be doing. I don't know what it is. And it just kind of popped into my head. What if you had a show for women, about women of color in particular. And it's going to be hosted by women of color who happen to be in the wellness genre. Maybe they're not like from a health perspective like me, but something, because wellness involves everything.
Everything.
Not just the fitness. And so I began to, you know, ask God to send me those women. And he did. He sent me Keisha, her publicist called me, and I got to talking to her, and I just asked her if she'd be interested. And at that time, we didn't even have a name of the program. It was just an idea that I had. And then I talked with Dravon through her publicist, and it was interesting because her publicist was like, oh, okay, I'll ask her, but she probably don't want to do that. But I was like, yes, I do want to do that.
Don't assume for someone else.
Right, yeah, right. You know, I think her publicist was just thinking because it was a brand new show, you know, to build an audience and all of that, you know. And then I was on Facebook and ran into the beautiful messaging of Rene and thought, wow, gee, she sounds like someone that might be interested. And you know, I asked her to be on my show, The Wellness Journey. In fact, all these women were on my show, The Wellness Journey. But I also told her about this new thing that we're just starting, and she said yes. So we had already, by the time I found Rene, I only had 3, but God told me 4. So I kept looking, kept hoping for it, and then she popped up. And so during by this time we had maybe 5 or 6 shows before we added Rene, and we were just talking. And it was Dr. Dravon James that said, you know, we should go on tour. And I said, oh my gosh, that is on. For my regular listeners who happen to be looking at Sarah's show, you all know about this board back here. This is my life on the closet there. And on the closet there, it had on their speaking tour. And I said, oh my gosh, maybe it's not for 2018, but we're going to set it up for 2019. So we discussed it because this was in December, wasn't it, in 2018, and this is what we're going to do. And I'm thinking they're thinking somewhere down the line in 2019, but they're like, oh, no, we're doing January.
No time like the present.
Okay. So this is really a God-orchestrated thing. The universe rised up to conspire to bring us all together. And I cannot tell you that I couldn't be more excited to be working with such wonderful women. Beautiful on the outside, but what counts to me is how beautiful they are on the inside. How encouraging they are, supportive they are, and how they really do have a spirit and a love for midlife women. I mean, we were all those midlife women who were, you know, struggling to figure out what we're supposed to be, what light we're supposed to be bringing into the world. So between all of us, we got some stories and some testimonies, but we also have some tools and some techniques and tips that we can share with the women that are really going to help propel them to where it is that they want to be. When they leave our little speaking Yahoo masterclass, they're going to be on fire. It's going to be like an explosion within them to be able to pursue what it is that they want to do and feeling confident knowing that, yes, they can do this. So we're excited.
And of course, yes, we can. And, you know, you mentioned a very, very important thing is when we actually decide to tune in to our divine soul presence and allow it to resonate with our heart and speak to our spirit action, our mind will know what it needs to know when it needs to know it. And so this is a really important message for us all to understand. God speaks to us in many ways. And when we get out of our head and into our hearts and our souls, that's when our truth comes. Then it's just the self-discovery of understanding what that truth is and allowing it to have a life of its own. You guys discussed this in December. We're January. And here you are, foot to the pedal, ready to go.
I have to tell you, it has been totally amazing in terms of what we've been able to put together within a short period of time. We're starting in Sacramento, which is where I am. But these ladies are in different parts of the country. Keisha is in Florida, Rene is in Alabama, and Dravon James is in Maryland. But yet and still, we have worked together to put this together, and it's just been amazing. Of course, technology allows that to happen, but I also believe it goes further than technology. When you make a decision that you're going to pursue something and that you're going to do it no matter what it looks like, no matter what it feels like, and you feel like you've been anointed and ordained to do that thing, then you need to do that thing. And there's definitely some things that we haven't quite figured out. Well, how is this going to work? How is that going to work? Well, we just know it is, because this is something that came from the outer realm. And I know that for 2019, for me personally, this is my 10th year of business. And this is the year that God told me that he was going to surround me with women of like minds, and that he was going to propel me into that vision I've had and been holding in my space, in my mind, for the last 10 years. And this is a part of the vision. I didn't know who was going to be with me up on that stage, but I knew I was going to be going on tour speaking. I knew that. And so it's just all coming to pass.
And it's not dictating how, it's allowing it to come together, right?
And the benefits of visualization, for those of you who have vision boards, or mine is a kind of my version of the vision board, it really can work, because what you think about, what you ponder on,
what you feed,
what you think, what you see will truly come to pass. You just have to kind of keep feeding it into your spirit every single day.
Believe in it, right? And Keisha, you know, I've seen you have been interviewed by a few times with Lynnis, and I know that you're very much into EFT, which is fantastic, emotional freedom technique, folks. And I imagine with putting this together, there's a lot of EFT going on in order to keep that balance there, right? And although I'm stressed about this, we can do it. So the enthusiasm of doing it and getting on and doing it, there's no time like the present, and so many people, it's always about the planning of tomorrow. Well, what's happened to today? Is it chopped liver? Why don't we get on with today? So Keisha, I mean, I know that you're an energetic, enthusiastic person as well, but what does this tour mean to you?
Oh, this tour for me is everything. It represents to me every single yes along the way. I exited my corporate job in April of 2018. And just by taking that leap, that step of faith, and saying yes to being on Lynnis's show, yes to being a co-host of Living Well Women, yes to every single yes has led to this event. And I know it's going to create such an amazing impact on so many women across the United States and perhaps even internationally. So it means everything to me.
You hit on a very key point. Yes. Yes. You don't have to wait until all the facts are in, right. All the knowledge is in. If it feels right, say yes to it, and how it will happen will be presented as you go. And Dr. Dravon, do you find that is something that you see in your life, that just be willing to take the journey and the path will present itself?
Yes, there is a wonderful book written, I think it's titled Just Enough Light for the Step That You're On. It's wonderfully titled for what we're doing here and for what most women do. I truly believe that we are created to be creators.
Yes.
Part of the creative process is having the faith to say yes, even when you don't have all of the facts. When you listen to that intuition, that part of ourself that says, this is the moment. And it's so timely right now. I know that across the nation, there's a book now that Steve Harvey wrote, says Jump is the title. So that jump is another word for yes. Yes, now is the time. It will take faith. And it will take a tribe.
Yes.
And so I think individually, we all had faith. We all had a vision. And that vision, that willingness, that commitment to yes, led us all together on this platform. Right? It was organically going to happen. We just had to say yes. And they say when the student is ready, the teacher hears. And another thing I truly believe is that the teacher and the student exist in the same body.
Yes, you've got to be forever learning.
Right, forever learning, right? So we said yes. And then we said yes to the unknown. We said it in December, but we said it way before December. That's how we all came on the show, right. Living Well Woman together, right? So I believe that in the power of yes, and I believe in the power of knowing that no matter what it looks like, you are successful when you try. So we're already successful. It's already reached the hearts of many, many women already. I believe that.
Yeah. It's not about the destination. It's about the journey, and it's about getting up and being willing to live it. And part of the journey is, landing on your ass now and again. And it's just a question of getting back up and go, okay, that 2-step didn't work. Maybe I'll try a different step. Right?
Yes.
And, I talk often about us understanding what our instrument is. Our self-discovery of what our beautiful gift is that we bring to the world, our instrument, perfecting it to a point where we can bring it to the orchestra, and then creating a symphony that resonates out with the world. You guys most certainly are the instruments that are creating an orchestra that is going to resonate out. Rene, what does this mean to you, and how do you see this unfolding to the people who are going to be interactive with you?
Oh my gosh, when you just said, you know, falling on your ass sometimes and having the strength to get back up, that so spoke to me because at the beginning of 2018, you know, you pick your word. I'm a little extra, so I had a couple, but you know, collaboration.
Yes.
My word. And so, you know, God has a sense of humor. I worked really hard last year, and by the end of the year, I was on fumes, and I was just like, okay, God. And I just kept feeling like there was something else, but I couldn't see it. And then I think it was in November when Lynnis actually reached out to me, and I was a little leery. I was like, okay, I don't know her. Who is this? But I connected to her because what I believe, you know, when she talked about Dr. Dravon's publicist being a little leery of connecting them. And, you know, there's this thing about social proof. Who are you? But I believe that we need to go in and, you know, one of the things that I coach women to do is to connect to your inner compass, connect to that inner compass. And I connected to Lynnis. Connected to her, and I just kept saying yes to her. Yes, I'll come on your show. Yes, I will meet Keisha and Dravon. Yes, I will join Living Well Women. So for this means to me is that you have to connect to who you are and listen to that inner voice. You know, when God is speaking to you or whatever the universe, you know, you have to trust yourself and to trust that you will be guided. If you can only see right in front of you that the path clears a little more and a little more and a little more, and to stay open to possibilities, stay open to direction. And here we are. So I am uber excited about it. So yes.
And I think anybody who's going to come and listen to you is going to be uber excited as well, because it's not just, you know, for women of exuberance up there. It is for women with lifetime of experience. And it's not just stuff that you've learned in a book and got a degree on. It's stuff you've learned and you've applied to your own life that now you are sharing with others. Everybody has to walk their own walk. But when you're inspired by someone, it's an invitation for you to take your own journey. And now with the knowledge that they share with you, you can put that in your backpack and you're never alone. You've always got those skills and those tools that are going to help you along the way. So having 4 women with such lifetime achievements already, who've got up off their ass how many times, have said yes to things, have gone down the dark alleys sometimes, and, you know, had their own fears, faced their own troubles, but listened to that beautiful divine presence that guided them back on their path. And now in this beautiful orchestra that they're bringing to you, they're going to share that musical knowledge that is going to ignite people's feet and get them going and start stepping into their own life. And I can imagine a lot of people are not going to be walking out of there. They're going to be floating out of there on a high, most certainly. We need this time, don't we? You know, there's so much stress in the world. There's so many people trying to disconnect you, divide you, and segregate and everything else. And we can't go back there. Been there, done that. This is a time of raising each other up, of stepping into a higher vibration of love for one another. It doesn't matter what the casing is. Right? It doesn't matter if we're man or woman, black, white, pink, yellow, polka dot, rainbow, who cares? It's about your soul, it's about your heart, it's about your spirit, and it's about us coming together and sharing that to create that symphony. So you've got all these wonderful cities that you're going to go to. So can you name a few? I'm going to ask each one of them to name a city so everybody gets a chance here. Lynnis, where's you've already done one city, so where's the next one?
No, we're starting. Our kickoff is in Sacramento on January 26th. And then our next goal is to go to Baltimore. And some of the other cities that we're planning on going to would be DC, New York City, Philadelphia, Baltimore, and the Carolinas, Raleigh and Charleston, Virginia Beach, Atlanta, Chicago. Those are just to name a few. I'm sorry, what did you say, Stephen?
Dallas, Birmingham.
Yes, Dallas. Houston, maybe. What other cities, guys?
Birmingham, Alabama.
Chicago, Miami, Los Angeles.
Savannah.
Well, it's 52 states every 52 weeks, so you've got a lot to cover there.
We want to go to 50 states within the year. That is our goal. And like I said earlier, this is a God thing. We have a target city, but already I'm beginning to get text messages and emails and messaging on Facebook about when are you coming to a city near me? So I got an interesting question about, are you coming to Delaware? And I said, I don't know, maybe. What are the cities in Delaware? And then I had somebody else, I have a couple of friends in Barbados and a couple of friends in Jamaica, and Belize. And one of our goals is that when we're going to these cities, we want to have at least one point person, somebody that we know, that can help us make the arrangements and, you know, help with the word out and all of that. Because this really is something that we want to do for our community as well. We are seeking out community theaters where we can actually deliver this message. Because the idea is that we want to keep promoting the arts. We want to help dollars to turn over at least 1 or 2 more times in our community. And this is one way to do it. So there is a more than just the idea of us getting on the stage. And let me just say one other thing that I think is really important. We're not doing this because we're the purveyors of truth and we just have it all together and we're going to tell you what to do. No. We are doing this because we've been led to do it, because we do have stories and testimonies to share. And we are still on the journey that all of the women that we'll be speaking to are currently on. We're on this journey together. And I think it's really helpful to know that they're not the only ones. The way that you're feeling about, you know, insecurity, depression, lack of confidence, I just got through going through that for the last 3 or 4 days. And had it not been for my sisters here to lift me up, pray for me, and to encourage me, I would still be down in the dumps. So just think, if you're feeling that way right now, and you're in ABD City, and you hear about us coming near to your town, you need to come and do that thing and get that uplifting. Because I'm telling you, just from my experience of working with these women, they uplift me. So I can imagine.
Energy begets energy, yeah.
Right, and I haven't even met them in person yet. So I can just imagine how in person it's going to be when we're on, you know, talking.
Explosion.
Fireworks. And it's also, we have Dr. Kitty Adderley in the Caribbean, one of our other hosts on Recovering Your Wholeness. So she's a recovery doctor. And so she's in the Caribbean. So, you know, you guys are going to talk, right? And that's the thing is, you guys are willing to go where the people are wanting you to come. And that's the beauty of it. And so, you know, if a city comes up and says, look, we've got people, we've got a theater, we've got a, you know, arena for you, you're there. And that's the beauty of it. And it's the snowball effect is what we're looking for. Because, you know, when you've switched them on, you know, when they've left your arena for that day and you've switched them on, you've ignited that spark within them, they take that enthusiasm. And the thing is, you're not about sugar high. You're not about rah, rah, rah. You're about exuding that passion from the heart and the soul, which ignites that flame within them that's been kind of a pilot light for so long. And, you know, it's getting that light back up in them so they can see their possibilities and they can see there's something more to their lives right now. Dr. Dravon, I know I can see you nodding your head away like that.
You are hitting so many wonderful points because this is about sustainable change. You know, we're bringing the message, but truly, if you were to question 10 women, 9 of them in this age group would tell you that there is something still on fire in their belly that they have not tapped into because they put it on simmer so they could raise children, so they could take care of husband, so they could nurse a career, and they found all that to be satisfying. Wonderful, wonderful work they did in the world, but it did not quench their purpose for being still there. And so it's nice to have all of us together to say, yes, there's nothing wrong with you.
No.
Absolutely right.
Yeah.
That fire in the belly is still there, and this is how you can fulfill those dreams. Let's walk together and do this. So you're right. It's not a sugar high. It's sustainable change, a sustainable pathway for women to come together and say, this is who we are. And maybe, I don't know, 3 or 4 decades ago, you could have counted us out at this mid-range. Don't count us out, you know, do a recount. We're
Yes.
still in recount. We're still in the game. And
Yes.
this is what we have to offer.
Yes.
Much more to the journey called life. And when we do this, it's going to impact younger women. Oh my goodness. Can you imagine how secure they'll feel about their journey? Nothing's on fire when you realize that the flame's not going out at 45 and 50.
Right. Yes. Rene, I've got a question for you. And I don't know why, but I've got a question for you. The impact this is going to have on men. Because when the women's flame comes into being, some men, they've lost their wives as they used to be, the humdrum always there, dutiful wives, and now they've got a flame within them and they're going after it. And for some men, it's going to be intimidating. And for other men, it's going to be, wow, I'm with you. I am with you. I am here to help you and propel you forward, because it gives them permission also to step into their own flame. So although this is directed at women, it's for women and all whom they love in their lives as well. Right, Rene?
Oh, absolutely. And I know why you asked me that question. Because one of the pieces of my story is, how menopause hit me. It hit me emotionally, not physically. And I read Dr. Christiane Northrup's book, The Wisdom of Menopause, and she talks about how this is a stage of life when women who we've been the tenders and the frienders and the nurturers, that this is a time of life when we have to renegotiate relationships. Yeah. What was may not be anymore, because we are changing. We are metamorphing into a bigger version of ourselves. And so now it's time for us to focus our attention on ourselves. And so with our partners, with our children, with our friends, we're going to show up a little differently. And that can be scary and intimidating. And, so with my husband, when I first went into this entrepreneur life, he was like, why would you do that? You're retired. I mean, why would you want to take all this stress on? And, and so he didn't get it. But now one of the mantras in my coaching is let that shit go. And so, I love it. So now he saw that on a mug somewhere and he showed it to me. He said, they stole your saying. I said, well, actually, I stole it.
When it's good, you share it, right?
He's very supportive now of what I do. And so you are absolutely correct. And this is one of the scary things about change. As a mindset coach, I will be remiss in not tagging on to what Lynnis said about that we have actually never met each other in person.
You don't need to. That energy signature is already there.
Yes. And so for women out there listening, like thinking, like she said, we're not necessarily special because we are in this journey together. It's scary for us, just like it is for you. But this is about opening yourself up to possibility. Yes, some relationships may need to be reevaluated, and that's scary. But I believe that men who truly, truly love you, care about you, they may be a little, I don't know, but they will get on board because ultimately they want what's best for you. And this helps the relationship.
Yes.
That old saying, when mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. So.
But it's also your light, becomes a beacon for them. Becomes that permission for them to kind of like, well, why? If she can do that, what's in me? This isn't a time to be complacent and sit back on my laurels. It's a time for me to find a passion within me. Keisha, I know you've got an answer to that one.
Absolutely. I firmly believe that when we start shifting, everything around us shifts, right? And it's this healing forward moment for me as we're doing this and I'm shifting and I'm transforming. My girls are watching, my sons are watching, my grandchildren are watching, my ex-employees are watching, colleagues are watching, and everyone is shifting around me. Everything is shifting. So I believe we leave no stone unturned ever, right, in our personal development. And my personal motto is, don't leave anything secret or sacred with you in the grave. No. And that's about living this life poured out. That's why I'm like tingling with excitement to meet everyone here and to meet all of the women whose lives we're going to be impacting in such a powerful way.
You know, I know from my own personal journey, I look back on who I used to be and I go, who was she? You know, I was on automotive, you know, I was the mother, the counselor, the carer, the neighborhood safe house and all of that. I was what everybody wanted me to be. And then came that shift of, but Sarah, you are a soul awakener. You have been this for many lifetimes. Step back into yourself. Because I was two distinct people. And I had to come into being my oneness again, my wholeness again. And I had to be willing to take that journey, which meant that I had to come from the heart and the soul. I had to get out of the mind and the expectations that have been put upon us. And I think this is one of the big things you're giving is permission to people. You have done, quote, quote, your duty. You know, societal's expectations are just too big. They don't allow us to step into who we really are and really play our beautiful instrument that really inspires others. And if we allow ourselves and give ourselves that permission to be and discover ourselves and who we really are and what we have to share and become that person, become that beautiful being, then we are that beacon of light that gives others permission. You know, Lynnis, we've talked about this a lot on many shows that we've done together.
Yes, we have. It's interesting because I think that every woman has a certain light within them that is supposed to be nurturing and is supposed to be full of wisdom and guidance and all of that. But very rarely do we take that light and turn it on ourselves in terms of how all these gifts that we give out to others can minister to ourselves as well. And one of the reasons why we talked about the whole idea of being calling self-love is because that's where you start on this journey, is learning how to love yourself. And as C. Rene says all the time, you know, she has clients that sometimes have a real problem with even being able to say who they are outside of all the other roles that they play. And she asked the question, what was it that you asked them, C. Rene?
Yeah, I asked them, who are you without title or role? And that's a question that many women at this stage of life cannot answer. And that's, you know, and we are here to help you discover that answer because it's there waiting on you. It is there waiting on you. And it's not about being selfish. You know, we talk about it's about being self-full. This allows you to even expand the love that you give to others because you're not giving from a place of obligation and resentment and exhaustion.
Yes.
And I think that also part of wellness is really learning how to distress the mess. And when I say distress the mess, I'm not just talking about stress in general, but all the mess that's our lives. We need to find a way to take the energy out of some of those things that really aren't serving us any longer and maybe put more energy into things that we know will serve us better, but we just haven't done it because it makes it more all about me. And I'm here to say at this stage of life, it's okay for it to be all about you because it's been all about everybody else for so long that it's time to take all those energies that you put into someone else, others, companies, whatever it is that you're doing, and begin to shed that light back on you and figure out what is it that you want to do at this stage of your life. I think that's so important that we realize that we really haven't done that in many cases when we get to midlife. But we are at that point where like, there's got to be something more.
It's stepping into what you love to do. You know, it's how many people I've interviewed that have been in the corporate or, you know, owned companies, big things like this. And they said, yeah, I was very, very good at it, but I didn't love it. And they were willing to walk away from everything to go and do something that they loved. And they felt richer for it. Every single one of you are going to answer that one. Rene, go ahead. And we're going to go up the line.
That's my story. I was good at it, but it was time for me to walk away from it. And I walked away from it before 2 years before I could officially retire because there was a voice within me that just wouldn't leave me alone. And I had to go. And so, yes, it's scary, but it's necessary. And we didn't create this to just, you know, talk to each other. So like you said, in focusing on what is meaningful for us and shining that light on ourselves, we are expanding to now to hundreds and thousands of women. So, yeah.
Dr. Dravon.
Yes. Well, as a woman, I'm probably the only one on this line right now. I still work full-time in a profession. And so I can speak so intimately about what it means to do something that you're obligated to do because you're very good at it. And then really still have that passion. Most people will say, you know, I can't do that. I can't put in 50, 60 hours in a corporate job and then go follow a passion. But when it really is something that's tugging at you, you know, you cannot not do it.
Yeah.
It really is a part of you that says you got to figure out a way to make this happen. And like we said earlier, you take the first step, next step, and then you find that, you know, okay, I'm doing it, I'm speaking, and then I'm signed on with 3 other women, and we're in the easy, right? Because I made the commitment to say I'm going to give into my passion. It's, you know, I can't keep the stuff down any longer.
No. Keisha?
Yeah, I mean, I was excellent at my corporate job and making a good income on paper. And it was my obligation. It was paying the bills. It was providing for my family. It did not light me up at all. And on April 19th of 2018, I woke up and I knew that I deserved to be happy. That was my last day.
Right.
That was my last day. I left a mid six figure corporate job with 1 coaching client. And I was like, I deserve to be happy. And if this doesn't work, then I will just lay down and die. And it worked.
Thank goodness. Yeah.
And it worked because, you know, like everyone else listening, we do deserve happiness. We do deserve to live our passion. And our passion will magnetize everything that we need.
Yes.
Everything.
And because you're taking all those skills and tools from that work into your passion. So it's not like, you know, suddenly you're becoming something else. You know, you take, I always say the best knowledge is when you're wise enough to know how to use it and in how to use it. And so you've got all this knowledge that you're taking with you and you're applying it now to your passion. And so it's not something that's just starting from scratch. It's because all that knowledge and wisdom knows how to put it together. And when you're coming from the place of the heart as well, and you're doing it for the right reason, that's when the success means something different to you. And I know with you, Lynnis, success isn't about the 6 figures. You know, success is when you have somebody that says, you're speaking to me, I get it, you know, and you see that flame ignite in them.
You know, and I really think that in my story, I was that 6-figure woman, you know, American dream and all of that, but I was totally stressed out, had an anxiety disorder, and had an epiphany that I needed to take some time off to figure out why I had this anxiety disorder and what I was going to do about it. And when I started doing research, I'm trying to find a way to heal without having to use the pharmaceuticals, although at the time, pharmaceuticals probably helped bring me more into chemical balance so I could focus more on things. But when I got to a certain point where I knew that I needed to dig deep to find out what it was I was really supposed to be doing. And so I landed on this whole idea of educating women so that they won't ever end up the way I did, feeling like they had no resource, no support to try to get well. And in the process of that, I had to figure out, you know, how do I monetize this? I know what I want my message to be. And back then, that was in 2008, 2009. I have no doubt and great pride in saying I was groundbreaking. And, you know, ignorance is bliss. I didn't know how groundbreaking I was until I look back and think, wow, you know, and God has blessed me and maintained me. But one thing I believe that it says in his word that where your passion lies, so is your treasure. So I believe that this passion that we have, this passion that I have, whatever passion that other women have that they've been wanting to do, you pursue that, you will be blessed beyond measure. Not just from, oh, I feel great and everything else, but also financially as well. I believe that you can monetize your passion and make it so that you are actually being paid for something that you love to do.
And of course, this is a new paradigm that we're looking at because, you know, I was a soul awakener and coach and everything, counselor for a very long time. And in 2001, my businesses out there, and kind of internet really wasn't a big thing, and it was one-on-one. And there was always this thing that if you are this giver, this soul igniter, this spirit igniter, you're doing God's work, so therefore you should be paid. God pays you in kindness, right?
You have to eat too. You have to eat too.
Yeah, exactly. Human vessel needs a roof over its head, needs substance. If you put me in a divine vessel, no, it's fine. I don't need to be paid, but I am in a human vessel. And I think one of the huge transitions for women, and I'm sure each one of you have gone through this, is that worthiness of feeling to be paid, because I'm such a giver, as Lynnis knows, and, you know, don't charge enough, and you know, don't get paid enough, and do this from my heart, even though you're battling to pay the bills, because that's such a hard thing for me to do that money thing. And of course, Rene, you're nodding your head like crazy. Come on, sister, tell us about it.
This is why I focus on mindset coaching, because what I found was, in working with people, you can do all the steps, but if you don't have the mindset to know your value and own your value in whatever way that needs to show up, then you may get the thing, but you're not going to keep it. And then you keep beating yourself up about and feeling guilty about, proclaiming your value. And that's why I love, the work that Keisha does too, because it connects to that too, that we have to keep it's not a one and done. This is daily work, and particularly for women who have been conditioned to believe that we should just give.
Yes. Woman give, yes. Other people take. That has been the paradigm. We don't want that anymore.
No, we are valuable. Our value is worthy. We have ways to give, but also ways to be paid. It is okay.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And you know what? I think that changing that mindset really begins with the idea that you are worth it in terms of investing in yourself. And I'm not just talking about the money that we spend investing in ourselves when it comes to our face, our hair, and our clothes. I mean, that's cool too, but I'm talking about investing what's going on the inside. Because I always say it's not so much, what you're looking like. It's what your health is like, what you're feeling like. Your emotional health, your physical health, and all the other things that go into your wellness. Those things are important. And many times, just like when you're investing in your face, your hair, your nails, and all that other kind of stuff, you have to invest on the inside as well.
Yes.
So that you can go further along that journey that you want to go through. And I wanted to say something else too. You mentioned about all the different, backgrounds that we could be appealing to in terms of all the different women, regardless of the casing. And my tagline for my magazine, Wellness Woman 40 and Beyond, is different backgrounds, but the same journey.
Yeah.
We all come from different backgrounds, but we are on the same kind of journey that can only be related to by other women on that journey, midlife women who are on that quest, trying to figure out, okay, I've done the majority of things I'm supposed to do. I'm so-called halfway through my life. Now what? And that can be kind of a frightening place to be when you get to the now what stage. And we want to take the fear out of the now what, and place it with hope and with empowerment to take that by hold and continue that journey, with your head up, full of empowerment, knowing that you can do this. You can do that thing that you kind of think about, but you don't even tell anybody else about because it sounds so ridiculous. The idea that I want to open up, let's say, a cupcake factory. Okay, and everybody's like, what? That's not gonna make any money. Well, you could be the first.
Yes.
You never know how that's going to. If I had listened to everybody who listened to what it was I wanted to do back in 2008, I kid you not, we would not be talking right now.
Mm-hmm. And that's the thing, listen to the inner voice, the divine voice. Don't argue with it, go with it. Your how will be revealed. And Keisha, I need to go to you on this one, the how, right? And again, this is where that emotional freedom technique is wonderful, because sometimes it's not just about releasing the stress or releasing the negativity. I use it a great deal on, please guide me to the how.
Yes.
Guide me to the knowledge that I need, because the passion is there. I know I need to do it, but I need that guidance of who and how. And do you find that works a great deal in that way?
I absolutely do. The more grounded you are in your body, right, and you've cleared out all of that other stuff, you absolutely can connect. And I believe that every single day we're presented with $1 million ideas. And when we start tapping into them in this clear space, that's when everything starts changing. And I wanted to speak quickly, if it's okay, back to the worthiness.
Yes.
A lot of times it doesn't even present itself as, oh, you know, I don't feel unworthy. I feel confident. I feel worthy. It just presents itself as feeling true, right? When you work in corporate, your income is basically set by the corporation. But a lot of us have set our income or our worthiness by our family stories. I know growing up, I used to babysit neighbors' children. And my mother would always tell me, you can't charge them. Don't charge them. Just take whatever they give. And that showed up when I started my coaching business.
Yes.
And and I wouldn't have thought it was about, oh, me not feeling worthy, but it was about me not feeling worthy.
Yeah.
I want to speak to that worthiness too. I think Rene talked about it being a mindset. And one thing that I always use when I do workshops or speaking is that we have some ways of processing things because we are women, because we come into the world as nurturers, and to use that processing, to use it. It's there, use it. And so one of the things I always think about when I think about, oh my goodness, this fee makes me maybe a little bit uncomfortable to charge because maybe they don't think that I'm worth it. But here's what I know, that when I get that fee for doing the work that I'm going to do, that's going to change the lives that I know it's going to change, I'm going to put that money to help somebody else, whether it's hiring a housekeeper. You wouldn't have hired her. You don't know her. So that money that's coming into my position allows me to pass on and do good for somebody else. If I were to do the service without the fee, I wouldn't be able to bless the people who are going to come into my life who need to be blessed with that income.
Right.
That's a different way of looking at it. Yes, you have to pay me because it's not selfish. It's going to help me bless somebody else. I'm going to pass that on. And that's what we do. That's what we do as women. So it's important that we do change our mindset around those things. I was working in a workshop one time and a lady told me, she said she had this wonderful business. And she said, I just don't want to be wealthy because if I'm wealthy, it'll be too much responsibility. And I talked to her about that. I said, so if you're not, and I don't know what your definition of wealthy is, but if you don't have income, think of the charities that you cannot help, that only you could have helped, the people that you cannot help, that only would have come to you for it. So changing that mindset is so important as we talk about worthiness, as we talk about compensation.
And they're willing to pay it forward. Very, very important. I think another very important thing to discuss is process. You know, I often refer to it as, you know, the birthing of ourselves. You know, when we get pregnant, it's 9 months and that child is growing inside of us and we change quite considerably, you know, hormonally, emotionally, expectationally, you know, everything, that wonderment and the dreams for the child. And then we go through labor, which is very painful. And then that moment that child is put into your arms, nothing else matters. You know, you've forgotten the pain, you've forgotten everything else. There's just this new life. So this process of our own gestation, of our own giving birth to ourselves, we have to be willing to go through the process. It isn't a downloadable app. It isn't a quick snap. It isn't a, you know, attend one meeting. Oh, hallelujah, I've got it all now. It is application of what you're learning to self and willing to go through the unraveling, the deleting, the reprogramming, the nurturing, the loving, the discovering, and allowing yourself to go through the process in order to become. So you have to be willing to invest in yourself, time, money, and love, and patience. So who wants to hit that one?
Well, I want to say that I love that analogy because I use it a lot in my life. Isn't it wonderful to get in the middle of the pool and realize the only way I'm going to get out is to swim all the way to the end? And that's what pregnancy is, right? There gets to be a point where I'm in it now, right? Yeah. And that's what the process is for change, is for us to commit to it and say, there will be women to show up to guide you along the way. And there will be challenges to show up to strengthen you along the way. That's what they do. Allow the process to unfold. Don't check out on you before you get to the end of the road and realize how beautiful it is, how My sister, she was the only person I had ever seen give birth, and I was there in the room with her, and I was like, I could never do this. And the minute that they put that baby in her arms, she goes, oh, that wasn't so bad. And I'm in the corner like, it was horrible. It was horrible. Right? But that's what this process is, really. There are women who've gone through it, who are going to be sitting there cheering you along the way, saying, keep on coming. Keep on coming.
Yeah.
This side is beautiful.
Rene, I know you're jumping at the bit there.
Yeah, one of my favorite questions to ask women is, are you interested in your change, or are you committed to your change? Are you interested, or are you committed? Because you are so correct. This is not a one and done. That term quick fix does not apply to life change. You know, and as has been mentioned here, we are still going through our process. You know, and that doesn't end until we are 6 feet under, or in the urn, or however you're going to go out of here. But
next life.
Yeah, that's right. Yes, and so having the tools, getting the process, and getting that personal life system for you to every day keep yourself motivated to continue on your path and to keep doing the work. I mean, we don't want to, we want it to be all, but it is, at the end of the day, it's work. Yeah. You know, it's work, but it's valuable work, like Dravon said, when the baby's in your arms. And so it is so worth it. So worth it. Yeah.
And I know Keisha go with that, but I'm going to add the word gratitude to it, because when you look at what you're gaining in gratitude, it doesn't make the chore so hard, does it?
It doesn't. It really doesn't. Gratitude changes everything, as we all know. And as we're all doing the work and feeling this extreme joy and gratitude for it, everything just feels so, for lack of a better word, magical as it unfolds. It just feels magical as it unfolds, and we're all growing and watching each other grow and supporting each other through this growth. And it tears me up, because I'm so full of gratitude for that. Yeah. Really,
I think the gratitude also is stepping into self. It's suddenly you can look at yourself through different eyes. I'm grateful for all the obstacles I've had. I'm grateful for all the challenges. I'm grateful for being pushed. I'm grateful for having to swim through the molasses. I'm grateful for finding my strength that I never knew I had, abilities I never knew I had, the person that was inside of me that I never knew was there. And I'm grateful for the opportunity to discover myself and step into my awesomeness, because quite honestly, we're all awesome, waiting to be, aren't we?
All of those divine gifts.
Yes, exactly. Divine gifts. It really doesn't matter what your faith is. This is not about religion. This is about tapping into something that is greater than you, and understanding that beautiful universal energy. As one of my hosts, it's the world according to Gus, God, universe, and spirit. He's a reverend of 40 years, a divine. We're actually going to do a show with all of the hosts, and so that's going to be another great show. But it is about understanding when the soul, the gut, speaks to your heart, listen, because that's the divine truth. And whenever you feel you're getting lost in your head, yes, but, oh, I should, or what about this, what if, and just go back into that presence, the breathing, the EFT, get back into your center, and you start listening to that divine presence. What you need to know, that knowingness will be there, and then just follow that path, because we're not alone. And like the four of you being put together, we're at actually a stage right now, cosmically, and all astrologers and everybody else will tell you right now, this is the year of progression. This is the year of change. This is the year where we don't talk about it, we do it. I don't call it activism anymore, call it actionism. We're in actionism, right? And so you talked about it, and you didn't go, like in a year or two, we got all the planning. It's like, we're going to do it. Where do we start? And we will let it happen as we go, instead of waiting for everything to be perfect and everything to be this and everything to be that, and then it never happens. You guys have stepped into actionism.
Okay. I receive that.
We have, absolutely, absolutely. We moved right in. And that's what a true journey does take, to make action. It's just a concept until you move.
Yes.
Just a concept until you move. And that's the beauty of this tour, because we're talking to women, women 40 and beyond, who understand intuitively, know it, but we've put it in place. We've galvanized families, children's. We've done it. Now it's time to do it for us.
And you know, a lot of the things, I know you're 40 and beyond, but I have 2 children in their 30s, well, 3 children in their 30s, but 2 daughters. And, you know, a lot of the 30-year-olds are saying right now, you know, it's like, my own daughter is in the process of, what's my purpose? I need to find something. I believe in this. I want to be a part of that. I want to change this. I want to change that. But she hasn't yet found her instrument. All right. And so you don't have to be 40 plus. You know, it's just that willing, that self-discovery of self, what your instrument is and where to go. So this isn't a 40 plus club and you have to be 40 to get in there. It's anybody that wants to step into that wisdom that's been learned from the people who are 40 plus.
You know, I like to say that with my group, Wellness Women 40 and Beyond, it's for women over 40 and all the people who love them.
Love them.
And then I also would like to say that actually, you know, baby boomers, which I am of one, I'll be 62 in June, and baby boomers, you know, have this thing where they like to pin on millennials that they don't want to listen. They're not open. This is all about them and everything else. And I can tell you, as a mother of 3 who are 30, 34, 32, and turning 30 next week, they really are hungry for that guidance from their elders. They listen and they take notes. I mean, they really want to know because they know they don't know it all. I think that the baby boomers have kind of given them a bad rap because they come looking a certain way, communicating in a different way, and all the social media and everything else. But deep down inside, and not even close to the surface, is a huge fear and doubt of what are they going to do next with their future. How can they put together what's all inside of them in a way that's constructive, that does add value to their world, because they are more about adding value to the world.
Yes.
Therefore, I say that if you want to get to 40, okay, if you want to be able to be, motivated to do the things that are necessary so that you can be even more vibrant by the time you get to 40, you need to come to this tour as well, the self-love explosion tour, because it's going to give you that.
It's a mother and daughter thing, you know, grab your daughters, you know, and come along together, because, you know, I know with my own kids is this whole transition of me stepping into my soul purpose, becoming who I am again, and not living just the human life, living the human being life of purpose. You know, it scared them because, you know, mom isn't earning anything. She's doing this from love. Mom's got sick. Mom's got this. Mom's got that. And they worry all the time. But now they've seen who I've become. They've seen the dedication that I've put into what I'm doing, the passion and the conviction. And now it has become something that's looked to them to go, okay, I want that enrichment.
That's something, how that happens, yep.
Yeah, I want that. I want to feel that value of something that counts. I want to feel abundant in what I do. And so, you know, whereas initially the fear, because mom's changed, you know, she isn't the same person anymore, like she's not there at the snap of the finger, you know, mom's doing other things. It also then becomes that invitation of that igniting that abundance and that enrichment that lies within them they haven't yet discovered. So grab your daughters, you know, your nieces, your grandmas, you know, your aunts, just bring them along and let them experience that it's never too late and it's never too early.
Oh, that's my saying. Never too early, never too late. Never too late, never too early. Absolutely. Absolutely. Every day counts. You started off the program by talking about what about today? Today is all that we have.
Yeah.
Today. It's not yesterday. It's not tomorrow. Hold on, grasp onto today. Start the cycle of change, that journey today to live from what I call your major gifts. Yeah, they're still there.
And of course, what you do today is already seeding tomorrow.
Yes.
Right? So, I mean, the vibration you live in today is that vibration that is going to step into tomorrow. If you're constantly living for tomorrow, then you've wasted the gift of the present, right? And there's no seeding done. So, yes, This is important. What you put out today, look with all of you. You started off with conversations, come on the show, share your story. You found a connection. And then it became, what if? The possibility. Should we? Let's. Action. And here you are. You're on this tour. 4 beautiful women who have taken their own journey in life, who are willing to step up and share that with everybody in exuberance, in positive energy, in invitation, through that inspiration, and switch that on in everyone else and say, the light is within you. Switch it on, right? Shine bright, because my God, we need that. We need that. The planet needs that. Women need that. It is now the era of women, which doesn't mean we hate our men. It doesn't mean men become subservient. What we mean is women stepping into their empowerment always includes the lovingness of men. Always, because that's the balance of women. It's love. We are love. It's time to share that love. Pour it out. Gravy, custard, ice cream, pour it out there. And so everyone begins to feel it, trust it. Because I think one of the big problems with people and their anxiety is they're afraid to love anything, anyone, afraid to love their life, afraid to love their job, afraid to love anybody else, afraid to love themselves, because the fear of rejection, the fear of being let down. But when you take that journey of self-love, self-discovery, that love of who you are and what you're doing, that love then automatically exudes out to everyone else. So you owe it to yourself, but you owe it to everyone else around you.
I agree. You summed it all up, Sarah.
Absolutely.
Okay, so bring everybody along, go along to do it. Then first one is Sacramento. Then the following week, have you got the first 4 weeks?
I know on February, was it not February 9th? What was the date, ladies?
26th. February 26th.
February 26th will be in Birmingham, Alabama, February 26th. The other dates we haven't quite firmed out yet, but I know that we'll probably be in the South somewhere. And as soon as we find out, Sarah, we will let you know so you can add this to the show page. So people
Excellent. Now, is there a show page that people can go to that has everywhere you're going and that also has a way of people connecting with you saying, come to my city?
Yes. You can go to, it's bit.ly, bit.ly//self, capital SELF -love explosion, all one word. And that will take you to our page where you can find out where we're going to be next. It also takes you to the page so that you can find out more about the show and also how you can pay for your ticket to go.
And you also have a Facebook group too that people can come along and ask questions and make requests and just interact.
Reality, we don't have a Facebook group, but we're going to put one together. Right now, we all have our own individual Facebook groups and pages. One way to contact us and to be able to comment and talk to us is by looking at our show. We do a show called Living Well Woman, Holistic Living for Sisters, and that is on Facebook Live, but we do upload it almost immediately to our YouTube channel. So if you go to YouTube and type in Living Well Woman, and that will come up with our YouTube. Please subscribe, so that way when we're on, and if you miss us, you can still see the replay on our YouTube channel, Living Well Woman.
Exactly. So, I mean, if you're just listening to this, I'm always about please share. You know, get the show, listen to it with a bunch of women, then start conversing with each other. You know, how did this touch me? Did this ignite something in me? You know, I've always wanted to do this. Hey, I'll support you in doing that. I'll help you doing that. I'll just be there for you. Encourage each other. You know, we're tired of living the singular lives of having to do it all on our own. We don't need to. This is a community. And we are a community, and we need to be there to celebrate and support and love one another, because ultimately we all gain from doing this. So you see a video, share it out. Say, come over for a glass of wine. Let's listen to it. Let's talk about it. Let's see what we can switch on within ourselves, because this is the inspiration, but the wisdom that you share now becomes the application that people can do to take action.
Yes, as you're saying this, I just came up with a couple of ideas I was writing down later. I get to talk to you about it. And this is how it is. It's the synergy. And the only difference between the synergy that you have and the synergy that you don't is when you don't act on it.
Yes.
And the whole idea of, you know, prayer is one thing, but prayer without action, you know, it doesn't work. So you pray about it, but then you act on what you just got to praying about. So when you have that synergy and you're getting that idea in your mind, gee, I think I really do need to find out about going and seeing these ladies, because I need that extra push. I need that extra empowerment. Just don't think about it. Actually do it and visit us at the bit.ly that I gave that is on the show page for those of you who are on the page. For those of you who are not, it's bit.ly self-love explosion. And there you'll find some information. And soon we'll have our Facebook group page. And Sarah, I'll give that to you so that you can put it on the show
Excellent,
page.
yes. And it'll be obviously on her wellness show page and on her personal page. And it'll be under events and under selfdiscoverymedia.com as well. Because we support, you know, not only our hosts, but people who are out there doing the work. Because this is the reason why Self-Discovery Media is around. It's to share people's journeys. The stepping into self, stepping into that purpose, the instrument they've become. You know, this is the orchestra they can come and play their music in and inspire others, because we know we learn better from people that we resonate with. That somebody says, I've been where you've been. This is what I did to self-empower myself. These are the tools I did. These were the challenges that I faced, the dark times. It wasn't a giving up. This is what I did to come out of that. And it's like somebody's saying, you get me, you're speaking to me. And now in hearing you, I can apply to my life. Instead of just somebody who's just got a degree and everything being learned by book, the best way to learn is from somebody who's experienced it themselves, the very best way. And this is the people we have here. You've taken the journey and now you're sharing it. Yay! Wonderful. So I'd like to go through each one of you with some closing words of wisdom. So I'm going to start with you, Rene.
Just want to tag back on to something you said earlier about not having to start over, Sarah. And, you know, I just want to encourage women. Yes, we can begin again, but that doesn't mean we have to throw out everything and start over in that way. I'm a huge believer in nothing is wasted. Nothing is wasted. So, you know, just be encouraged, be inspired, and get into action. I love the word actionism. I'm stealing that. So,
Go ahead. Actionism away. And Dr. Dravon, what's your words of wisdom for us?
The words of wisdom that I have to share with our community is that today is the day. Remember that Latin phrase, carpe diem, seize the day, right? Today is the most important day of your life. Use it to build for tomorrow, but to stay fully present in today. Whatever you have experienced in the past has strengthened you to be here to this day. Bless it and live today.
Beautiful. Keisha?
You are already more than enough. You belong here. You are safe here. And it is safe for you to make an impact on this world. Doesn't matter how old or how young you are. Live your life poured out. Don't leave anything secret or sacred behind.
Beautiful. And Lynnis?
Well, first of all, Sarah, I just want to thank you so much for having all of us. It's such a treat.
My pleasure.
Share with you and on your network. I'm just overjoyed with all the support that you've given us. But I guess my message or final message would be is that we are all seasoned women. And there comes a time in our lives where we need to be renewed, restored, and re-energized. And that's okay. That's a part of the journey. Allow yourself to be poured into. Allow yourself to be renewed and restored and re-energized. And once you've done that, then you will feel you have even more fuel to pursue whatever your dream is. And it's okay if you don't know what your passion is yet. When you start renewing your mind, renewing those things that feed into you and pour into you to help you discover who you are, or who you want to be, you'll be surprised what you find there. Guaranteed, you will find something there that will propel you along your journey as you continue to age, as you continue to age in a healthy way.
Yes. And, age is beautiful. Who I am today is the best I've ever been. With all the creaks and croaks and everything else, I don't care. I am more full and abundant and living on a positive vibration and in harmony with self than I've ever been in my life. And that's because I was willing to place that value upon myself and willing to take the journey and go through the process. And it only happens if you're willing. It only happens if you step into actionism and you're willing to take the journey without dictation, just with allowing it to happen, listening, learning, applying, living, and just discovering your beautiful, abundant self, because we need you. We need your awesomeness, and we need you to step into it. So thank you, ladies, for getting out and doing what you're doing, and, you know, not just doing it. I love your old Nike thing. Just do it. You're just doing it, you know, and you stepped into actionism and you're pouring out that abundance of knowledge and wisdom and love and passion. And anybody that gets out there to listen to you is just going to go home feeling their tank is full, not just with the ignition of the fuel of love that you're sharing, but with the knowledge of how then to apply it to themselves. And that's, you know, the big thing. I'm all inspired, but what do I do now? Well, here's a tool, here's a tool, here's a tool. Now go and apply, right? Just go and do it. And when you do, my God, what a better person you're going to be for yourself and for the people that you love and for the world that we live in. And if everybody spent a little time in doing this for themselves, and look at the vibration that will rise in the world, look at the harmony and the love and the caringness and the kindness and the symphony that we can create. You know, we're the solution. We've been the problem, but we're also the solution. So let's step into it. Self-love first, so you can love another. So thank you so much, ladies. This has been wonderful. And thank you for getting out and just doing it.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
My pleasure. And this is why I do what I do here in Self-Discovery Media, which we were selfdiscoveryradio.com. We're now selfdiscoverymedia.com, and media because it's all about getting the message out there in any which way. And please share this show. Share it with the people that you love. Start talking, start igniting the flames, and reach out to them for them to come and visit your city, because you know you need to meet them, you know you need to be inspired by them, and you know that you need to be switched on. So until next time, folks, it's bye for now. For more wonderful shows like this, please go to selfdiscoveryradio.com, podcasts, and see our lineup. And if you wish to support us, we have a funded button. Please stay tuned for our next show.